What do you think about
Legend, go.
okay, so the women that are having those enhancements, right? It could be anything, right? Enhancements. Are they getting married? Are men proposing to them in a general sense? Because where you're at, I'm pretty sure it's crazy over there, right?
Yeah.
Are they married in general?
um, yes and no. And this is the reason I say yes and no. Because a lot of women are getting certain, like, if you get a job done, right? A lot of boob jobs can be like done where they don't look overly made, right? You don't look like you got anything done, right? So those are getting married. A lot of women are getting it done while they're already in a relationship, right? And then I feel like once you get it done, your husband or boyfriend is gonna be like, oh, I'm not okay. You know what I mean? I
But
think
what about the women that are single and they get it done? Like after, do you, from what you
I
know in
think
general?
I would say that no. I would say no to that. Um, because one, you're already giving this idea like I'm a sex symbol, right? And I think when you give the idea of I'm a sex symbol, yeah, men are gonna want to look at you and they're gonna be like, oh wow, she looks good, but they're gonna be looking at you as I want to fuck versus hey, I want to actually get to know you, and that it's kind of a double edged sword, right? Because if you have no body or like if you're not like your body's not like boom, oh wow, that she looks great, if a man decides to talk to you, yeah, he might want to fuck because at the end of the day, he's a guy, but he's also getting to know you because he wants to get to know you. He thinks you're beautiful, right? Versus if you have this banging ass body, some women have ugly ass faces and they have a banging ass body, and men will fuck them because they have a nice body, but then they will never talk to you again. If you think about it, let's tap into the transgender thing, right? Transgender women have the same bodies that these women are getting nowadays. Like they look the exact same. Their hips are the same ratio, their butts are the same ratio because all they're doing is going to a surgeon and doing that same body, right? So now it's like what differentiates a man from fucking this girl and fucking that transgender? They look the same, right? It's different now if you're dating them because now people will know. But it's like if you fuck them and nobody got to know, it's behind closed doors, right? So um, but yeah, to answer your question, I guess the ones that are single and getting it done, they're not getting in relationships or getting married because men are already putting you in this category of you're just a sexy girl and you're like the side chick type thing. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
If a straight man has sex with a man that has sex change, is he
Yes.
gay? I know
That's
you
that's
you you
I've
cover
talked
that
about
in your interview. Yeah,
yeah. Um, I think that's the golden question. In my opinion, it's like a yes and no because it's
he's
like
gay.
but here's the thing, right? So like if he knows, it's just it's complicated because from what I've heard, the surgeries are like top notch. Like some of
Okay.
them. Again, I've never seen one in person, but from what I've heard, um, some surgeries look really good. Like I know this girl, she's a transgendered female. She went from a male to a female, and she has a great body. She in the face you can kind of tell like something's off. But she has told me like her. Can I say the word the V word?
Yeah, yeah, you good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So her vagina, she says it gets wet. It looks like a vagina. So it's like when you put it in that perspective, I'm like, okay, it's not gay, right? But when you think back, like, okay, you used to be a guy, now it does become gay. Also, it's like if a man doesn't know he's having sex with a transgender, then he can't be gay. You know what I mean?
he's
Until she
gay.
tells you after the fact.
He's gay.
Why do you think so?
Man's a man, woman's a woman. Gay.
I agree with you there, but it's a thing of, I mean, is it an energy? Would you say it's like an energy thing? Like you should sense that he used to be a man in the past.
Well, I mean, I really don't know because of they're Transformers, right? Decepticons. So it's kind of hard to figure out whether or not, but I can guarantee you that if I do happen to get in that situation, um, you will get treated as if a man is trying to rob me. You know.
I got it. Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely that exchange will definitely, that event will occur.
You're
So
saying if they were to trick you into. a situation, or if they were, right? That's what you mean. Like if
That's exactly what I mean. Yep.
okay.
Yep.
I mean, I agree with you. I feel like if somebody tricks you in a situation like that and they don't tell you, especially in something that's so sensitive, I would 100% like, yes, we're squaring up because that's kind of an invasion of, that's almost like rape in a way. That's like rape.
But now, what I'm also saying is that I don't. Um, I'm not saying that people shouldn't have the right to have the surgery. I'm against it. Number one, right? I'm against it 100%. But that's me.
Yeah.
Okay, my household. So other people outside, adults, if you've seen if you've been mentally, because you're supposed to be mentally evaluated, even when you do like bleaching your skin, you got to get evaluated mentally, and you check out, I think you should have the right to do that. Now, what do you think about children having children around, I think 8 or 10 years old, I think in California, have the right to have their sex change?
Totally against that. 100%, million times percent against that. It's always tricky, and I mean, I get the sense that you're like, you know what, listen, I'm gonna speak freely, and I'm the same way. 'Cause I know people are so sensitive nowadays, but I'm very like, I'm the same way. I'm like, you know what, if that's what you want to do, then you're an adult. You should be able to do. You have freedom of speech, and you have freedom to do whatever you want to do with yourself. But when you try to, kids' brains are very what's the word I'm looking for? They're very, you can manipulate a kid very easily, right? They're still trying to figure life out. They don't know half of anything. They don't even know how to shower yet. You know what I mean? Like they don't even know what they want to eat. Like they know nothing, right? So now you push this idea on them all the time. Like I don't know if you've heard, but they brought like transgender days at school or spend the day with a transgender. And I'm like, I understand what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to bring awareness, but I'm like, that's not your job. That is the parent's job. If the parent says, you know what, I think I want to expose my kid to this extent, I mean, obviously you should make them aware of it because they're going to come across it in their life eventually, but to put them in a situation where they're like absorbed into this idea, it's like you're putting certain things in them, you know what I mean? And so that's one thing I'm completely against. And then now letting kids change their sex at such a young age, I mean, the biology alone, I don't even think that should be allowed. I mean, you go through puberty at like what, 12 years old now? So if you can change your sex at 10, 11 years old, it's like, why we're completely going against biology and science and everything nature, in my opinion. And on top of that, the kid doesn't even know what it is, you know what I mean? Like you're changing your, like, people have the argument of, is it sexuality or is it just how they feel inside, right? Because that's what they say, transgenders, I feel like a woman but I was born a man, so I gotta go through the change, right? But when you're changing your genitalia, that's not something of I feel a certain way. That's a thing of I'm changing, like, my everything about my life. I'm deciding right now, like in the future, if I wanted to have kids, I can't anymore. And you're letting a 10, 11-year-old do
Yep.
that? Are you out of your mind? That's like letting a kid drive you around. A 10, 11-year-old say, hey, you make the decisions in life. What? That makes no sense. So I'm like, so actually haven't heard of people letting kids change their gender at that age. I've heard of people saying like, hey, you can be a cross dresser, and I'm like, you know what? I don't agree with that as much, but that's not as harmful. You know what I mean? Versus changing your actual gender and going through a surgery. Again, I haven't heard of that, but if that's a thing, that needs to be stopped like right now. Because I don't know if you've done any research into it at all, but I've done a lot because I think the topic really intrigues me, and I've watched interviews with men and women who were born in like 1950, 1940. These are people that are older already, right? And they went through a gender I forgot what the name of the surgery, but they've gone through the surgery, right? And then 20, 30 years on the line, they regretted it. They try to reverse everything, but you can't reverse anything anymore. You already cut your genitalia off, or you've cut something out. You can't have kids. You can't reverse it. Your whole life has changed over whatever you were feeling in that moment, right? And imagine if an adult, a 30-year-old adult, can feel that. Imagine a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't agree with it at all. Again, it's one of those things where it's like we can have our opinion on it, but it's like at the end of the day, it's not our place. But when it comes to kids, I'm like, it is my place, because one day I'm gonna have kids, and nah, it's not nah. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
And I think that the thing about it is that it's gotten so much out of hand, as far as trying to make everyone acceptable to accepting it's okay for a woman to put so much makeup on that she's not who she is, right? That's not who she looks that's not really how she looks like.
yep.
Have you heard about the whole Gabby Petito situation?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so did you ever see their I guess like the van life video?
I think I saw a few where it's
Some
like they
sort of
were like
intro of them
jogging.
traveling? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you watch that, isn't that the most deceiving video you've seen on social media as far as like relationship goes?
Because it was so like happy go lucky, but they were going through so much. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing too, is this like, when you look at social media, things are not, the grass is never greener on the other side,
Yep.
right? Your grass is not green because you're not watering it. You're not cutting it. You're not taking care of it,
Hmm.
you know? Um,